Explore history in this classic real-time strategy game. The Age of Empires series has been a huge name in the history-based and strategy game genres for years now. The ability to build a civilization into a world power from the ground up never seems to get old, as is obvious in this installment. There's never been more civilizations to play as, units to put on the map, and ways to conquer. Age of Empires 4 is the pinnacle of the series, and some would even argue the RTS genre itself. It can be a bit hard to manage at times for new players, which does hold it back a little.
Unit lost. Unit promoted. Repairing. Structure abandoned. Unit promoted.
Red Alert 2 might not actually be the best RTS game to play nowadays. However, this is one of the most important RTS games that contributed to the growing popularity of the genre back in the early 2000s. The success of games like the original Red Alert and its sequel encouraged many other developers to start making RTS games of their own. Of course, there were other series that helped shape the genre, but this was one of the most influential ones. The unique combination of live-actor cinematics, 90s CGI cutscenes, and one of the best stories in the whole genre is what brought success to this game. The game mechanics look dated at first glance, but they still hold up to this day. Playing the campaign is a must for every RTS fan, as is trying various skirmishes against AI opponents.
Unit lost. Construction complete. Unit promoted. Unit lost.
Thrusters engaged.
Cannot deploy here. Unit promoted.
Secure that location!
A game that mixes the classic World War II setting with the fun of the real-time strategy genre. The third installment in the Company of Heroes series has improved upon the last with more units, more maps, and an improved system to allow for more in-depth control of your army. The AI doesn't take it easy on you, but the game does allow for a fun number of different ways to complete your tasks, which helps as you boost your roster with more and more units. The Mediterranean isn't a theater you often get to play in World War II games, so it's a refreshing change of scenery that sheds new light on the war for history fans as well.
Grenadiers! Quit your bitching!
Working on it!
Keep your distance!
Buffalo losses! Moving on location! Come on!
We await command!
Stop firing!
Ready, rifle!
Our frontline pioneers are dead.
Stay down!
Orders, men down! Take cover, Kinder!
Cyclone ready for action.
One. By the numbers, boys.
If you're talking about sci-fi RTS games, then you're sure to bring up StarCraft at some point. The developers have done a lot to make a science fiction universe that is well thought out and makes you just want to learn more. Plus, there are few enemies as impressively destructive as the Zerg. No matter what side you like to play on, you'll be in for a treat. It's a game series that's been around for some time, and they've used that time to figure out how to revolutionize the RTS genre.
Upgrade complete. Mineral field depleted.
We have you on.
You scared me!
The Total War series has taken players to important points in history from all around the world. While everyone has their favorites, and there's no wrong answer as to which one to play, few of their games were as well received as Rome Total War. The plight of the Roman armies is a classic one that fans of history and strategy games can't get enough of. Rome does a good job of taking into account the subterfuge and policy of the Roman governments as well as the combat. It may be a lot to balance, but the game eases you into it rather well. While the Lord of the Rings universe focuses on the lives of individuals, you'd be amiss to ignore the power struggle going on between the various forces in the mortal lands. That's where Battle for Middle-earth comes into play. You can play as a handful of famous armies seen in the books and movies, and vie to conquer as much land as you see fit, and you may even meet some famous figures along the way too. As you play, you'll wonder why no one has made a game like this earlier, because the Lord of the Rings universe is a perfect fit for it. Steel Division 2 pushes itself to the absolute limit. It's a World War II strategy game that stands out from the crowd with ease thanks to the massive roster of units and grand scale of battles in which you can control. Historical accuracy and balance are the keys that make this game work. The developers have poured over every unit in every army and made sure they're not only realistic, but fun and easy to manage. It can get overwhelming at times as you mix air, armor, and infantry unit tactics, but it's well worth the time to learn how to do so.
Formation de combat. En voilà un qui ne nous emmerdera plus. Première compagnie, au rapport. Un médecin!
We hold instruments of doom.
To the slaughter!
For those that want a more futuristic look at the RTS genre, Dune Spice Wars has all the strategy game you could ever want. Create your own venerable house from scratch and rule Iraqis with an iron fist, or let the spice melange take hold and do whatever feels best. There are plenty of choices to make and no wrong way to approach the pretty in-depth game that Dune Spice Wars sets up for you. It may not be the easiest game to hop into just because of the depth of the lore and gameplay, but if you have the time for it, it will reward you.
Anomaly found.
If you want a real-time strategy game in its purest and most complex form, then look no further than Solaris. It's a game that asks a lot of you, and rewards you for the more you pay attention. You get to create a civilization from scratch on the galactic scale. This seems like it would be hard to pull off, but Solaris somehow runs it all with little to no hiccups. You can spend months exploring all the game has to offer for you. It's not for the easily frustrated or those who don't like poring over details.
Anomaly found.
Set during the Infinite War, Supreme Commander has you attempting to wrangle peace out of the chaos that the galaxy has known for so long. You'll have to use every last brain cell to come out on top against the AI and the devastating weapons it wields. Thankfully, they aren't the only ones capable of bringing out the big guns. There are huge tech trees for you to plow throughout the campaign. Still, the highlight is the experimental branch of units, which includes everything from giant crab-like walkers and mobile-first bases to nuclear payloads capable of instantly destroying major enemy bases. Supreme Commander also features one of the coolest map systems around, with the ability to zoom out and in seamlessly so you can always plan your next step. Few RTS games make sci-fi warfare look and feel as impressive as Supreme Commander, and over a decade later, it's still the benchmark in that respect.